start. I'm just gonna start the video. So now it would be 2 videos, okay? So, right, so then how do we find a third? Divide the space.
Oh, so I understand. I think it's
right,
like
well, if you do this, right, like you're gonna end up with a
half.
2 halves.
Halves, yeah.
Right.
Third.
So yeah, now we have to find the thirds.
I think we should divide somehow it into 6 equal parts. It's 4. Oh no, I don't have an idea.
Let's see what happens.
It's 4 parts. And that will be 8.
Okay, so now so now we could say 1, 2.
I think the middle one is too wide, no?
Everyone's always picky. So those would be, oh, I'm still working with quarters, aren't I? Okay, so what about this? What if we did that? Right, and then we divided this. No. There's something here is somehow my brain's not functioning. That becomes the center. So to make this a third and a 2/3 and a 3/3, right? That then the third would come somewhere like here. And then that would be like there, right?
Yes, I understand it visually also without calculations, but when I need to calculate, everything becomes very difficult.
Oh, well, we said that this length here was 5 inches, right? So basically, so if we divided that into thirds, we would get like this, right? But then when we draw straight up, that doesn't account for the perspective.
But I thought it should.
Yeah, so did I, okay? So did I.
I thought it will work.
Yeah, well, I thought it would work too. This isn't, don't come crying to me. I mean, that works.
You just put it visually.
Well, this is what I'm thinking, right? Which is that like, this is a third. So if we measure that distance and multiply it by 2, we should get 2/3. And if we take this distance and multiply it by 3, it should fit in here 3 times. So this becomes, this becomes, one.
It's like a progression.
Yeah, this becomes a 2, and this becomes a 3. So to get this distance here, it would be 1 times 3. Easy.
Yeah, this thing I understand completely.
So let's do this. This is how I often will do things like this. Let's see if we take our system that we feel a bit more confident in. And we say, all right, well, let's find that. Like, why, how? Okay. So that's the center. Okay. So then this is the center. So then this is now like 1 to 2, right? So then we need this to be, this line here should not be, this should not be 1 to 1. Right? We need that to be, this is where the third actually happens. So now this distance here would fit into there 3 times, I think. Okay. I think what would be, if we did, let me see. Okay, so like this is basically like a third and a third on the height. We can see that, like, look, that's almost an intersection. So what if we went like this? So I'm basically going to use my ruler here. Okay. This top little section needs to be a hair smaller because it's higher. And then, okay. And then let's see what happens if we go like this. We do see, if we go back a step here, we see a line here that connects, you see?
Yeah, yeah. I just thinking about that. If this cross intersects with the orange lines which presented the horizontal thirds, maybe their intersection, if we put a vertical lines, would be our thirds.
Okay.
It looks
It does, doesn't
pretty close.
Believable.
Mhm. Yeah, it looks close.
Yeah. I think it looks pretty good.
Mhm.
Whoops. Okay. So it's more about the intersection of the top.
Mhm.
Honestly, that looks pretty accurate.
Yeah, it looks proportional. Yeah.
You lost. I lost your confidence now, didn't I?
No, no,
I'm
it's
just
just
teasing.
it's just hell hard for me.
Yeah. Well, you saw how hard it was for me, right? So then watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then we said, right, that like that was 4 inches.
Mm-hmm.
So that should mean now, based on that, that width should be 4 inches here.
Mm-hmm.
So then if we did this correctly, this as it diminishes in space should get smaller, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then now if I draw that line straight up, because you said there was like 4 inches around
Uh-huh.
each one, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, all this steel frames 4 inches.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks good.
Okay. I mean, it's not perfect because I didn't zoom in and like make sure everything lined up, but it's
Mm-hmm.
close. And
Mm-hmm.
then, say say this comes out a little bit, then you can do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I went wrong. Okay. That's where I went wrong earlier. And so now this comes out. I don't know how far it comes out. Is it flat?
You mean roof?
No, where
Mm.
the steel comes along the back, like this part, like this.
Yeah, it's flat.
Okay. Okay. So what I said earlier when I just said I did something wrong, this is what I did wrong. I made these lines horizontal, but they're not supposed to be horizontal. They're supposed to go to the vanishing point.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, this comes in more in here. You see?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, because I didn't think it was diminishing quite right, but now I think that will help.
Mm-hmm.
Whew.
I'm sorry for this.
No,
math,
this is
math, math day.
right. No, this is what so then we've got our 1/3 divisions here, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so then we can build those. We can say, well, then does it then look like this? Right? Because you said that this was in thirds.
Yeah, but the upper and middle part, they like solid glass, and the lowest part is like steel frame.
Okay. So like this wouldn't be there, is what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just glass.
So then what you'd need to do then here is figure out like on that part that's steel, again, like does it have a thickness?
Mm-hmm. It's
And is that thickness
the
on
same.
the inside or is it on the outside?
It's still, I think, 4 inches, and in the middle of it, there is a glass plate.
Okay, let me let Martina in.
Oh.
You're fine. So then say that you have this, right? Hi, Martina, we're just finishing up a problem here. So then say that is like that, right? And so you use that to help you to find this thickness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then say if the glass is going right down the middle, which of course it is, then there you would say, all right, so the glass is coming down the middle, right? So it's pretty thin over here to figure things out. So I would actually go here and I would go corner to corner here. Okay, and then I would do my vertical.
Mm-hmm.
And then that tells me here that then the middle of that section would be going through there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And very quickly it's going to disappear.
Mm-hmm.
So then that means that if we zoom in, now we can say, all right, then, well, the glass is here. This is the edge and this is the edge. And we know it's running down the middle here because we divided that space.
So on the next parts, I think glass will disappear immediately.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Thank you. Could you please give me the recordings?
No.
I want to try it again.